Hi, I'm Canadian, and this is the BS Podcast Network. It's 75 degrees outside, sunny, and it's California.
This podcast brought to you by OuchThatHurts.com. Visit Ouch That Hurts for music, gaming, reviews, editorials, podcasts, and more. OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com.
Podcast. I am Dan, joined here by Steve.
Yo.
And only Steve.
Only me.
Yeah, only Steve.
Everybody
else just didn't want to. No, I'm only kidding. We got a couple people under the weather right now, so it is just me and Steve for this week.
And you almost didn't have me. I'm starting to feel a little under the weather too. Like, give it another couple days and I might be bedridden. I don't know.
Believe me, I'm telling you right now, the last thing that people want to hear is me talk for an hour.
Murder.
So, I actually at my as I call it, my real job, my make the money job.
Yeah.
I actually have to do new employee orientation. So I have to get up there and I have to like talk to them about just stuff that's going on in my area and all of the hospital. I do like life safety stuff, so I make sure I teach about fire equipment and what happens if there's a fire and or if there's really kind of any other emergencies within the hospital. Two very quick things about that. One, my favorite. This is not the first hospital I've worked at. My favorite emergency code, like how you hear like code blue and code green and all of that.
Sure, yeah.
So like universally, like code red is always fire, code blue is always like heart or heart attack.
Okay.
And then after that, they really don't have anything else. Like you can kind of make up your own.
Okay.
So like ours now, a code green is a utility failure. So like if if electricity went out or natural gas is not coming to the hospital or water or whatever, we call it code green. The last place I was at, I kid you not, their code green was a terrorist attack.
Oh no.
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
Now, the funny thing about that is that the area that I was in, that literally, it's like cornfield, little town, cornfield, soy field, the town I was in.
Terrorist attack.
Terrorist
against the corn.
I'm like, do we really need this? They're like, well, you never know. And I'm like, okay.
Well, okay. To be fair, sure, you never know. But green is such a, it's not a primary, it's a secondary color. Yep. But, if you're in an area with that many cornfields, maybe make it like magenta is the terrorist attack, right? Like something that's not that common. Code magenta. Like they're coming for us.
Their active shooter, which sadly we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Their active shooter is code maroon. And I'm like, why would you pick maroon?
Wow. Yeah.
So they had that. So it was a terrorist attack. Which is kind of funny. I'm like, okay, do we have one for like hurricanes then? And they're like, well, we could make one. I'm like, when was the last time a hurricane hit in the middle of Illinois?
Gotta watch out for them Illinois hurricanes.
Yeah, I was like, really?
Yeah. It's like all those tornadoes we have here in California.
So going back to boring people to death.
Yes.
So like I was up there this week. We had it, and I literally have like one guy sleeping, and I'm like, I really try to make this fun and interactive. I guess I'm just really that boring. So
it's not you. It's the subject matter. Like you're color coding emergencies. Like that's not really super fun. Unless you're coming up with like cool new color flavors for odd things that'll never happen, then it could be fun.
Correct. Yeah. So it's not too bad, but it's a fun job. But speaking of that, Steve, what have you been playing?
I have been playing not much. First I played Drive to the Snow, and we did that. That was last Did I already talk about that? Was that 2 weeks ago now? No.
No.
I didn't talk about that.
When did you drive through the snow? When did you come to Chicago?
Oh, no. Okay, so I think it was it the week we didn't record? I think it was the week we didn't record.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, one of the reasons why I wasn't around, is because we went to Mammoth Mountain. And that's a mountain here in California that is known for its, skiing, and it's a big vacation spot. It's on the other side, or it's on the east side of the Sierra Nevadas. So for us that live on the coast of California, Paradise itself, we have to go, around the mountains. We can't go over the mountains because they're snowed in. And so we have to go around. We don't want a Donner Party situation.
You know, everybody just listening just went, she'll be coming around the mountain till she comes. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yep. So we went around the mountain when she came, and this episode rated R. So yeah, it was like a 6-hour drive that, because we had 2 kids with us, turned into like an 8 to 9 hour drive.
Oh, fun.
Which was just great. But when we got there, you know, it was fine. It was a lot of fun. Went sledding with the kid, which is awesome. It's the second time we've gone there, with our oldest girl, first time with our youngest. And the youngest was a little too young. We put her in one of those snowsuits that where they can't really move. They're kind of starfishing the whole time, like Maggie Simpson, you know? And so we put her in that. We took her out into the cold, sat her down, or, you know, stood her up in the snow, and she looked at us and just went, like she was not a fan. She was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. And it was like lightly snowing at the time, which is cool because I'd never actually been in the snow while it was snowing. So that was fun.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, but my 4-year-old, she absolutely loved it. We built snowmen. She hopped in the snow, ran around, grabbed icicles, tried to eat them. It was a whole thing. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So because of that, no video games. So that was kind of a bummer. So when I came back to reality, Fallout 76. So I've been playing a whole lot of Fallout 76. I've been playing through the main storyline. And I think I might have mentioned this last week, but I played through the part of the main storyline where you go through the Brotherhood, and then that feeds into the main storyline for the Enclave. Spoilers, for all that stuff. And now the Enclave is at a point where it's like, to continue on this quest, you need to accomplish 10 difficult things, right? And these are things in game that are either random spawns, that you have to kill, or random events that are very specific type, that you have to go and complete, or take down Scorch Beasts. Which, by the way, and this is totally cool, and I'm glad that I grabbed a couple screenshots. I killed my first Scorch Beast.
So they're really that hard to kill?
They are that hard to kill. I was level 49 and it was a level 50, and it took me almost all of the ammo and aid that I had on me at the time, to take down. Nice. So yeah, it was pretty cool. They are less annoying now. I tried fighting one a couple of patches ago, and they just spammed one of their like sonic attack, which makes your screen, like, you can't see anything because of the effects on the screen. It goes through walls. It's like a sound attack. And it hurts you a lot. And they would just spam it over and over and over and over again. You couldn't really do much against it. And now they've cooled that down a little bit where they don't spam the attack as much. But they still are just like bullet sponges in a way. So you just kind of have to keep working at them. And as they're flying around the air, they're hard to hit, but once you get them to land, then you can really pound on them. And, something that I read on Reddit, and so then I put it into effect, and it seems to be correct, that you have to shoot them in the crotch. Which is very odd. But so when they land, they face you and they're swiping at you and biting at you and stuff. But if you are able to run around behind them and shoot them like in the crotch area, that's kind of like their weak spot. And so I tried that. I shotgunned the Scorch Beast right in the butt several times, and its health seemed to be going down faster while doing that. So if anyone out there is having difficulty with the Scorch Beast, shoot it in the crotch from behind. This once again, this is an R-rated
It kind of reminds me of you brought up Maggie Simpson with the star snowsuit.
Oh yeah.
There's a Halloween episode where Mr. Burns is Dracula.
Oh yeah.
And they're like Homer's like, you got to kill the head vampire. So he's like, do I dare live out the impossible dream? So they go and they run up or whatever, and he opens up the coffin and he goes, you must stab Lisa's like, you must stab the Mr. Burns in the heart with this stake. He runs up, he goes, vile fiend, and he hammers down on it or whatever. And Lisa's like, Dad, that's his crotch.
That's right. Oh, that's classic Simpsons.
Oh God, it is classic Simpsons.
So good. So good.
Oh man.
So I'm hammering through these Enclave quests, and I've done 7 out of the 10. Lucky for me, last night when I was playing, a lot of the events popped up that are Enclave events, which are just like the random events that happen around the world. And I'm geared up enough now. I've hit level 50 now, which is top level for getting special points. From this point forward, I keep gaining XP, I keep gaining levels, but you don't get any more points to go into your special stats. But every, I think, 5 levels, you still get a perk pack for perk cards so that you can change your loadout and stuff. And I'm missing a lot. Like there's stuff that I want to specialize in that I just don't have the cards for, so I can't, which is kind of a bummer. Some of the melee stuff. Like I have I because I'm usually in power armor, I default to having a super sledge always with me. And so if I, run up on someone, I hit it a couple times because my strength is at a 10. The power armor ups it by another, I want to say 6. And so your damage is multiplied by your strength, and then like whatever the damage on your weapon is, something like that. So a lot of power armor builds, rely on melee. And yeah, so I can't do any modifications on my super sledge because I don't have the correct perks unlocked to be able to do those modifications. So I've kind of put myself in a corner, and I can't figure out how to get a better melee weapon, which is kind of a bummer, but yeah, it is what it is. And then I had my first, player versus player experience last night.
Really? Was it a good one?
It was, as expected, I guess. So here's what happened. Around the world, there are, what are they called? The places where you can take them over. What are they called?
Strongholds?
No, not strongholds. I didn't mean to say that so with so much envy or bitterness in my voice. Not strongholds.
Because, that is a what is it? That is a Anthem reference.
Oh, I didn't play enough Anthem to get there. So, they're shoot, what are they called? And I'm playing with, I mean, you can see on the camera, I've got this like silly putty stuff that I'm playing with my hands. It's getting old, and so it's sticking to me too much, so I can't type. I'm just a ridiculous person right now. Anyways, so you go around the world, you can go to these places, you take them over, and then you can like, make like little mini settlements. I forgot what they're called. But when you're at one that somebody else is a part of, if you attack any of their stuff, you become wanted, right? Because you're attacking somebody else's things. That makes a whole lot of sense. I was in a new area that I'd never been in before, and I was exploring it, and I saw that there was, one of these things nearby. And I was trying to figure out where it was because it wasn't obvious. Like usually it's like a junkyard. It's like, okay, so this junkyard is one of these locations, or there's a couple of power plants where it's also these things where you take them over and then you can build like power cores and stuff. So I was cruising through this building trying to find where this thing was. It looked like it was on the top of the building, which was new for me. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what does this building have to offer? That's awesome. And as I'm cruising my way through these buildings trying to get to the rooftop, I find a locked container. And so whenever I come across a locked container, I pick the lock to see what's inside of it. I did that, grabbed what was inside of it, and became wanted. Apparently, and I think this is a kind of a design flaw on Bethesda's part, you don't know when you're breaking into somebody's stuff. The game doesn't let you know, right? Like like in past Fallout games, if you're about to break into somebody's stuff, instead of it saying lockpick, it would say like steal or something like that. So it lets you know graphically you're about to do something that is bad, and you can still do it. That's up to you. Well, at this point, like I didn't realize that this container, which was not a player container, it was part of the world. It was just in the boundary of this settlement thing. It's not settlement. What are they called?
That's gonna kill you, man.
I'm gonna die just figuring it out. It's gonna come to me and I'm gonna scream it out. So I did
call me at like 3 a.m. my time.
Yeah, like I figured it out. It's only midnight for me. No, it's only 1. I can math. So anyways, I picked this lock. I didn't realize that I was breaking the law, and I totally broke the law, and I became wanted, and now I have a 10 cap bounty on me. This is the first time I'd become wanted in the game because I'm not into PvP, and now I'm playing in the adventure mode and not survival, so I didn't expect this to be an issue. When you become wanted, when you go to the map, you can't see where anybody else is anymore. That's like part of the punishment for doing bad, right? And so I became wanted. Can't see where anyone else is anymore. No big deal. I see that I'm like right on top of one of these settlement outpost things. I'm like, okay, and I hover over it and say like, okay, this one's owned by so and so. The game thinks I broke into one of this guy's things. I'm trying to break into his stuff. Fair enough. I broke the rules. I'm wanted. Okay. First, there's no way to rid yourself of being wanted. I just have a 10 cap bounty on me forever unless somebody kills me. Which I would like in game if they like gave you a way to pay off the bounty on yourself in case you make a mistake like this and just want to pay off the bounty and be done with it, like Red Dead Redemption, right?
That would be kind of a smart thing. Like, I don't know if I would want that. Like, to me, it would be like, I really don't want to have that on me. Like, even like in Skyrim, like if I broke the law or something, I'm like, oh crap, I really just want to get this off of me.
Yeah. You want to just pay your dues. And so there's no way to do that in game. You just have to live with it. So I did. I just lived with it. After that, like the guy didn't come running come shouting out of like, hey, you stole my stuff. Like nothing, the guy wasn't there. And like I stood around for a while to see if someone was going to show up, and I was going to like emote to him like, sorry. So that was fine. I went through another like 3 or 4 hours of playing the game, or maybe, I don't know, a couple hours playing the game and everything. Everything was going good. I'm running missions, doing quests, all this nonsense. I finally found some corn, because I've been wanting to do some brewing in game, and you need razor grain, which is the wheat, and you need corn. And so whenever I find corn, I go back to my campsite and I plant the corn. And then after a while, it'll sprout more corn, and then you harvest it and you plant more, and that's how you farm. So
what does Steve do in his free time? He plants corn.
I plant corn. Farming simulator. Fallout 76, the farming simulator. Post-apocalyptic farming simulator. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just because I want to make booze, I want to make more Nuka Shine. Because that stuff, you drink it, and it like boosts your stats like crazy, and then you black out, and you spawn somewhere random on the map. So I want to make a bunch of this stuff, and then just go on a wild adventure. I haven't had the supplies to do it yet, though. Like, I want to like have this experience, I haven't gotten a chance. That is the coolest thing that they've added to the game. That some of this DLC stuff that they've
drunken adventure. A
drunken adventure, just like take all your clothes off, drink some Nuka Shine, and see what happens. Like that'd be awesome. So
that is hilarious.
I go back to my camp. So you have free fast travel back to your camp. So I travel back to my camp, and as I'm loading in, first the audio pops in as I just hear explosions, like really close explosions. And I was like, what is this? Is something happening at my camp? That's cool. And then like half a second later, the visuals pop in. My camp is decimated. Somebody has blown it all to hell. And I look around like, oh man, someone attacked my camp. Like, okay, that's part of the game. That's, this is a new experience. This hasn't happened yet. It's not like it was annoying. It was just like, oh, this happened. Cool. So I look around, and then there's a dude with this crazy big minigun, and he's wearing all Raider gear, and he waves at me, and then he starts shooting more of my stuff. And I was like, oh, he got me. So I emoted like the confused, like, why did you do this? And he shoots some more stuff. He runs right up to my face, for like a few seconds and then runs off into the distance. And I shoot after him, but like he was already gone. And because I was in power armor and he wasn't, he was running pretty fast. So I don't know what his stats were, but he took off pretty quick. I was like, all right, he got me. He somehow, like, I don't know if that's tied to me being wanted. Like, you can see where their camp is or something. Like maybe he saw that I was wanted, so came to my camp to attack me because, oh, well, if you're wanted, that means you're being bad, so you must be punished. I don't know. So
I really got to get this game for PC.
You do. I mean, there is a lot of fun to be had, and they're constantly tweaking the game, making it better. Today, a big thing dropped, the Wild Appalachia. First it was the Nuka Shine quest, and now it is the Sheep Squatch, which is some quest line with some dude who is like a conspiracy theorist that there's some half sheep, half man thing running around. I haven't done any of the quest yet, but like that's the thing that they added. Okay. So anyways, just to wrap up my story, so I go around and like you can repair your entire camp. You just have to like go, to all the things, and it costs, a fraction of what it cost to build the thing. And if you need to go back to your camp, device, you can hit, one button. It's like a repair everything. So if you have all the stuff, you just pretty much hit one button and then your entire camp is repaired. So I go there and I'm missing like 3 components to be able to rebuild everything. I was like, oh man, I'm missing like a couple of gears, like 2 screws, and some nuclear material. And I know why the nuclear material, because I had a really fancy power generator. So I couldn't rebuild everything. And it was late. And so I logged off. Today I logged on for a few minutes and was like, all right, do I go and find these things, or do I just try to rebuild manually? Excuse me. Mm-hmm. I ended up rebuilding manually and just not rebuilding the power generator. That all is fine. So that was a new experience. After I rebuilt everything, so for the Nuka Shine quest and for the Sheep Squatch one, in the market where they sell you things, what's it called? The market, I guess. Jeez, my mind is just not with it today.
Not here today.
Yeah, in game, you pay the atoms and then you can like buy, cosmetic things.
Yeah.
And both for the Nuka Shine quest and for this, Sheep Squatch, quest, you buy, or they give you for free these posters that you can put up in your camp, and then activating those posters starts you on the quest line. So to be friendly, I get those, I put them up in my camp in case someone comes by the camp and they want to start the quest, like they're able to. The posters are also up all around, the game. So you go to any railroad station, and the posters are there. So I was looking in the menu for the poster to put up on my wall. And as I was doing that, I was killed. And so finally my 10 cap bounty was paid and I respawned, cause then when you respawn, you could you respawn at your like closest location that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And in this case, it was my camp. So I just kind of respawned, no harm, no foul. The guy who killed me just ran off afterwards. I have a feeling like next time I see somebody with a 10 cap bounty, I think I'm just going to go and kill him just to be like, I know you just don't want this 10 caps on you, right? Like that was a mistake. When you see somebody running around with like a 50 or 100 cap bounty, they did something. But when it's a 10 cap, that's the lowest one. So it's like someone probably just messed up. So this guy actually kind of did me a favor because it didn't hurt anything. I lost 10 caps, which is nothing. So anyways, that has been my Fallout 76, lately. I'm excited to get back into it and finish up the Sheep Squatch quest, or start it at least and finish it. I want to get, blitzed out of my mind on Nuka Shine and warp around the map, and that'll be cool. And, they keep updating it. They keep fixing things, and I keep enjoying myself. So Fallout 76.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't have that enjoyable of a time with my game. No, I'm not kidding.
Oh no.
No, I really want to get into 76, but it's like, I had it on console, and it's like all the console players just kind of like that I play with just kind of like stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that like 76 has more of a PC following than it really does anything else.
Well, Fallout is traditionally a PC game. I've always played Fallout on PC, so
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, let's see. I've been playing a couple of things actually. I downloaded The Witness because that's free on the Epic Game Store.
Epic Game Store.
Played a lot more Satisfactory.
Yeah, we got to play that together.
We definitely got to play that. That's a lot of fun. So I mean, nothing really big. Just kind of tinkered around with that stuff. The Witness, obviously, it's an old maze type sort of game. You're on kind of reminds me of Myst.
Myst, yeah, and that's done by the guy that did Braid. Jonathan something, I think.
Yeah,
Braid was amazing. Do you remember Braid? Did you play Braid?
I played very little of Braid. I never really got huge into it.
Oh man, I beat Braid. I don't finish. I say I don't like the term beat, but I finished Braid, and man, that was an amazing experience. The entire final level is played in reverse, and it's absolutely insane. It's cool.
I heard it's an insane game.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Let's see. So I did that. I played a little bit of The Division 2.
Okay. There's a new update just came out for that this week, right?
Yeah, it did. There's a lot of different changes, like menu changes and all of that, which I think make the game better. It's like it to me, like it was very cluttered. Like the menu stuff was very cluttered together. Like now it seems that it's very like they've finally used like the whole screen. So like like you pull up the map and then it would just go like to the right side of you, like over the shoulder type sort of thing. Yeah, like now it like opens up to like the whole screen.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot better.
Quality of life stuff.
Yep. That game is abnormally more hard than I remember it to be. Like the first one was hard. Like this one just is annoyingly hard. And I don't know if they did that on purpose or I don't know. It's definitely a game that screams co-op. You need co-op with it, or you struggle unless you're just really, really good. Which I guess I'm not.
I guess I'm just really, really good.
There you go. Was there ever a question, Steve?
No.
No. Played a little bit of Sekiro. Some more of that. Mm-hmm. I find it amazing that people want to put an easy mode on that game. Which we'll talk about at a later date.
Yeah.
And then I think I downloaded, and even though that it's another port to it, it did come to the Switch, and I love the fact that I can play this game portable now, and I haven't stopped playing it. Is Final Fantasy VII, the original. I love Final Fantasy VII. I'm call me one of those cliche gamers, whatever. Like, oh, you don't know Final Fantasy because all you like is 7. It's like, no, I've played a hell of a lot of them, but 7 still has a very deep place in my heart, and I cannot wait for the remake. Like, I am just so like, I don't care. Like, I don't care how long it's going to take. I want the remake of it.
Is that confirmed, or they're remaking it?
Oh yeah, they confirmed it like 4 years ago.
Oh wow, okay.
It was at E3. Like everybody exploded that it was coming out, but then it's been kind of like in like development hell ever since.
Okay.
Like they changed studios twice.
Oh wow. Ooh.
Yeah. So like they had like an outside, like Square Enix had like an outside studio working on it, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna take it in house and we're gonna go a whole new direction with it. So it's like. It's been back and forth, so there's been challenges with it.
Yeah, it's they changed. It's a kart racer now.
Though I did hear one thing that is very interesting. So, like, the game itself is a long game. On PlayStation, it was 3 discs, even though the third disc was literally just the final boss fight.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wait. To back up, by disc you mean CD or DVD?
Yeah, CD.
CDs. Okay. So, like. For its time, that's huge.
Yes, it was a huge game.
Compared to a modern game, that's like a mobile download.
Yes. So, but the game, the story, I mean, it's a long story. It's a really long story. But it's a good story. Just kind of all the character intertwining and all of that. So, what I heard, it's not surprising that they said, or it didn't come as a surprise to me that they said that it was going to be released episodically.
Okay.
So like this is an HD remake, all of that. So obviously it's a hell of a lot more development, all of that. So it's like, okay, I can see it going episodically. What I did hear also, yet to be confirmed, but what I did hear is that each episode is like the length of like Final Fantasy 13. Now Final Fantasy 13's game was 50 hours long.
Oh geez.
So they're saying that there's going to be multiple 50-hour-long episodes of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
What? Okay, so I've never played Final Fantasy VII. What could possibly be in this game, or how is this game constructed that it can be extended out that long?
So, like, there's a lot of, like, reading dialogue.
Okay.
And if they're going to convert that into text or like into actual voice dialogue and acting, I can see that.
Okay. Long cut scenes and stuff. Okay.
Long cut scenes. I can see the travel with it. Like it's mostly like a top down type sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're gonna make it more of a visual where you're going forward and you're kind of like over the shoulder type sort of thing, or like a third person view, I could see where that will make the game bigger. Just the whole, just Midgar and then the whole world is absolutely huge. So like you had like your main story that you can go on, and then you had a whole bunch of side quests. I mean, there's just like supposedly like they're going to like reach out more into story arcs. So like you have the story of Yuffie, which is a young ninja girl who you kind of get to know a little bit, but supposedly they're going to do more of her story. You have Vincent, which is like the vampire type sort of character.
I see you smile a little when you say that.
Actually, I do have something about that.
Okay.
It's Vincent Valentine. So, I mean, it's just so like you really don't learn, like you learn very small snapshots of this. I can see them saying, okay, now you're going to play as this character in their memory, and then that will make the story go further.
Okay, so they can extend it out by doing more character stories to fully flesh out little corners of the universe. Yeah. Okay, I can see that then. Sure, they could even they could point it to like each episode focuses on a specific character, and then fans, people that are going to buy this thing would eat that up. It sounds like that'd be perfect. That's cool.
Absolutely. Oh, I'd eat up every single part of it. I mean, cool. I absolutely love Final Fantasy VII. The materia system is great. That's kind of how like you get your powers. So like materia looks like little marbles or like handheld marbles.
Okay.
And like each one is a different color, like a certain type is a different color. So like your cure and restore and all of that are green.
Code green.
Your even. But, I mean, some of the other magic, so, like, you got, like, lightning and fire and ice, which are green, and then, like, your summons, so, like, you can summon, like, a god or whatever like that to help you, even though they're not called a god, they're called guardian forces or Eldians. They're red. So, like, each color means certain different things, like, yellows are buffs, and what happens is, like, so let's say I equip, like, this weapon or this piece of armor, I can equip that many materia. Like there's slots for materia. Okay. I can equip that much materia. Now, as you use that one materia, so I can have 4 fire, and I can equip 4 fire. I can equip like 4 of my characters, even though 3 of them are only in a party. Like I can equip 3 of them with fire.
Okay.
So all 3 of them would have the spell of fire.
Okay.
Okay. The more that you use that specific materia, not the genre of materia, okay, or the category of materia, the more that you use that one materia, the more that it grows.
Okay, so it's like planting a seed.
Like if I have a fire materia, just one fire materia, and I put it on myself, and I use that spell over and over and over and over and over, it's going to gain in level. It's going to gain up. Now I can find another fire materia and put it on to like Barrett, who is another character.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to have that skill of what I've grown that fire materia on my person to be. He's going to have to start over with that one fire materia that I found for him. unless I unequip the one that's on me and I give it to him, and then I start over with the other fire materia. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So it's yeah. When you level it up or you have it grow on you, so then after it's grown, you can give it to somebody else. Do certain characters have like an affinity for a certain type? Like, is there a character that come along and say, "Oh, I'm really good at using fire," and so you would grow it and then give it to that person, so it's easier for them to use, or is that just not a thing?
Yes, but it's way too hard to explain how.
Okay. Okay.
Like we would be here. Yes. So like Ares is always your healer.
Okay.
Barrett is always your tank. He's always going to be like your guardian.
Okay.
Type sort of thing.
All right. I see. So you don't give the healing one to your tank, and you don't give your tank skills to your healer. Okay. I understand that. Sure.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you do have materia slots that you want to fill in, so there's other materia slots that look like little hourglasses, but flipped over. So like you'll have like a ball and then have like a little line and have another ball. That means it's connected. So like what I could do is I could put like a buff on that materia. So like if I put fire and I have like an all materia. So instead of just that fire spell only going to one person, the all says I can attack all of them.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right.
So like you can equip, like there's one where it's sense. So like if I use lightning and I have sense on there, I'll shoot a lightning bolt, but then it'll also sense, like it'll give me back like sense gives you like the stats, like the HP that's left on the enemy or like a little bit of information. So like when I use that, it'll also pop up with that information. So you can kind of strategically put things different ways.
Okay.
Like if you have two cure materia, like I can give my cure to Barrett, who's my tank, and he can use a cure, so I don't have to only depend on Ares as my, even though she's my main healer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
like a backup and stuff. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Like having a backup, like just in case.
Correct. I mean, there's just so many different elements to it. Like when you play it, it's a lot of fun. And I'm telling you right now, if you can find it on sale, like on a Steam sale or whatever, it's just a fun RPG to play. It really is. Like the mechanics just work so well with it.
I've heard so many good things. Just the term Final Fantasy VII, like that is
synonymous with a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's just something that people know of. It's a thing. It's like people know about Mario and Halo and Final Fantasy VII, you know? Yep. So yeah, it's just something I've never picked up. I've never played it. As everyone can now attest to, I had no idea how it even works. So,
I mean,
yeah, I'll check it out. I need to check it out as a gamer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, you know, I'll never tell you have to play a game, like demand that you play a game, except for Final Fantasy VII. I demand that you play that game. Are you
demanding of me right now?
Yes, I'm demanding you right now. Stop the podcast and go. No, like I said, it's if you don't play any other Final Fantasy, this is the Final Fantasy in my mind to play, because it's just that good. And then the story just intertwines you. Like you actually care about you develop feelings for these characters. Like you really do. Like everybody knows because it's so old, but I'm not gonna spoil it for you of what happens to some of these characters and all of that. And like you legitimately feel happy for them. You feel sad. You feel remorse. It like makes you want to fight for these characters.
Wow.
It really does. Like it's so good. So good.
That's so
and
great.
I'm going to get so much shit from people about it, but it's just so good. I literally think I've probably played Final Fantasy VII at least 20, 25 times.
Wow. Well, how long does it take to play? Like from beginning to end? Is it like a 10-hour game? Is it a 50-hour game? Does it depend?
If God, you know what? I don't even know, because I kind of look for different things every time I play.
Okay.
Let's see.
Because I know, like, I'm a huge, as everyone knows, I'm a huge Fallout fan. The original Fallout I've played through maybe 3 times, and the second one I've only finished it once. 'Cause it's such a long game.
So it clocks around 90 hours.
90 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long game, like I said.
Okay.
But the thing is, well, let's put it this way: if you're playing Final Fantasy VII, to complete it, it says to take 39 to 40 hours. However, completionist will take a lot longer. If you're wondering, completionist is someone who has completed the game 100%. So, like, if you wanted to do everything in the game, take you close to 90. So, like, the story's going to take you 50.
Okay, so it's a okay. I can see that. Is it a collectathon? Is that where the 90 hours is? Like, oh, go find 50 orange leaves. Does it do that thing to you? No? Good.
No, it's finding different. It is finding different materias.
Okay.
Like if you wanted to do that, it's fighting different. Like there's this one ultimate materia called Knights of the Round, which you have to do like so many different things to get. Like if you want to get it. So I mean, it's like if you want to go on those quests, but it's not a needed thing.
Right. It's for the people who just want to live in the world for a while and
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
And that's totally understandable because RPGs, an RPG can be fun to just play through a main story, but a lot of times they live and die on their side quests.
Correct.
And so, yeah, like Skyrim, like main story, like a lot of people say like, oh, I've never played the main story, or I played the game for 50 hours before I even touched the main story, like, and that shows, just how great some RPGs can be. And for you to say Final Fantasy VII can be, 90 hours if you really dig that world and you really get into it. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And it's just in so many different ports and so many different areas and all of that. So, in fact, I'm looking up right now for you, Steve. If it, for some reason, my store doesn't want to load. Oh, there it goes. Let's see. Final Fantasy VII right now is not showing up because I didn't spell it right.
Are you searching in Steam?
Yeah, I put in Finsol Fantasy.
I'd play
$12.
$12 for 90 hours, 40 to 90 hours of gameplay bliss. That's pretty cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's totally worth, and it's old school. I mean, it's turn-based RPG.
Oh, never mind. I'm not going to play it. Turn-based. That takes me back.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's and you really don't need that huge of a computer. Like you need a 2 gigahertz processor to run it.
Oh yeah, I'm not concerned.
You need
about that.
like Windows like XP can run it. So
first I have to find a computer that runs XP, then I can play this game.
So, but I mean, you realize it's how old of a game it is and all of that. It came, 97, I think it came out in. Or something like that.
Yeah, that's
93. Okay, so moving on. So pick up Final Fantasy VII. Play it.
Before we move on, I just want to make note. The only other game like that I've ever played was Chrono Trigger. And,
you'll enjoy it.
And Chrono Trigger, I kind of enjoyed. There were parts of it that I was extremely frustrated. But overall, I absolutely love time travel stories. That's just who I am. And so I dug that, and I think I finished the game, but it wasn't a good ending and it was confusing. So.
Well, that's why you gotta play Chrono Cross.
Well, no thank you.
It's better. I would say it's better. I mean, people will smack me and find me in the street for that. But no. Yeah. I think Final Fantasy VII is probably the best Square Enix game that's come out.
Okay.
Bold.
So very bold.
Let's see. What else did I do? I put some awesome RGB lighting in my computer that I was literally trying to set up before this. I told you guys this before. I got the GPU. I got some new fans. I was really kind of bummed that the fans had a controller to them.
Okay.
I couldn't control it on my computer.
Right.
And then I picked up some RAM. I picked up some RGB RAM. And I'm like, you know what? There's this power node that you can plug all the stuff into, and then you can use software. So I'm like, okay, so I follow everything, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I've been really good. I'm not a PC guy. I'm learning this stuff. Okay?
Sure, yeah.
And it was very simple. It was put a SATA in, put this controller to this, put this, here. I made sure everything was good. I got awesome wire management. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Turn it on. The fans turn on. The RGB turns on for the RAM, and I got no like color strips. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm going back and forth or whatever like that. Now the whole power node is not picking up or whatever. I looked at this for like an hour and a half. You know what the problem was?
What?
I plugged the wrong wire into the wrong slot.
Mm-hmm.
I was using the one stupid wrong wire. So I got that. And speaking of RGB and a whole bunch of lovely colors, the other game that I was playing too was the Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition.
Oh, cool.
So I got that for Xbox. And then obviously the announcement, it's just a wonderful remake. If you've played Borderlands, you played Borderlands 1, play it, just have fun with it. We don't think we have to go really too deep into it. But I think just a little bit of our topic is Borderlands 3 was announced.
Yeah.
How hyped are you?
I have tempered expectations for Borderlands 3.
Okay.
It is exciting. I'm glad that they're revisiting the franchise. Did we talk about this last week?
No.
I feel like we talked about this last week. No? Huh. Okay. It's cool that they're revisiting this franchise and that it is in an era now where we are used to playing online and we're used to playing with other people. And so for a new Borderlands game to come out in our current gaming environment.
Now that I think about it,
yeah.
We did talk about this last week.
I was going to say, this sounds familiar. I think I've spoken these words before. Yeah.
So, well, maybe we'll cut that part out.
Nah, leave it in.
So,
I am still excited. I'm still just excited last week for Borderlands 3 as I am this week.
I think, damn it, I feel so dumb. No, yeah, we talked about it because it was announced and we got the Game of the Year edition. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So,
it's Epic exclusive. We didn't know that. That was announced.
Yeah, that was one of the big things. Oh, and we didn't have a release date. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So it is coming out on September 13th.
Mm-hmm.
It is gonna be a midnight or a day one for me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So you're going Epic Game Store because that's where it's releasing, and then 6 months later.
I think I might go console until it hits Steam.
Oh, okay. I forget about the console sometimes.
Yeah, I still have my console love. Though I do want to play it on PC. I'm looking forward to it. So September 13th. I think just a couple of updates with it. One, I love the memes that are coming around with the walking gun or the gun with the legs. And then I guess there's just they're going way off the wall. Did you hear about the gun that insults you as it reloads?
No, that's amazing.
There's a gun that insults players as it reloads.
Oh, that's great. I heard about a gun that makes volcanoes or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That's awesome.
Yes. It's this is just going to be over the top. It's going to be basically be an acid fest.
And the gaming has been a bit too serious lately, so it's good to inject the silly it's good. I'm happy.
Absolutely. But with that, I think we're just it's going to be a short show tonight. Not really much gaming news. No. I mean, we have Days Gone that's coming out, but we'll probably talk about that next week. That's coming out on the 26th. Yeah, it's really kind of been a slow couple of weeks in the gaming industry, don't you think?
Yeah, in the industry, I think people are winding up for E3. The industry is getting ready. So this is the calm before the storm.
Absolutely.
We're hearing little trickles, little rumors here and there about things. I heard that Xbox Live the Game Pass, that there's going to be a different option for the Game Pass to be more expensive, but includes gold. I want to say.
Yeah, it includes gold, and then it's for the whole year or something.
Yeah, I think it's instead of being $10 a month, it's $15 a month, and then you get gold or something. And people are saying that
would be pretty cool.
That would be cool, and it's tied into their discless Xbox. That's how it's going to be. Get this, and then get this subscription, and then you've got all your games, and you've got gold, and then you just you go from there, which is cool. Makes sense. I mean, I'm paying $60 a year for gold and then $10 a month for Game Pass. I mean, monetarily, does it make sense
it completely adds up to the same thing.
Okay. So it would just be paying by month instead of a big chunk when I forget about it. Like years ago when I got my 360, I signed up for Xbox Live like in the middle of January. Right. And it's yearly. It's like after the holidays and my bank account is empty. And then boom, I'm hit with this, like, it used to be $50. Now boom, I'm hit with this $60 charge out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, I forgot about gold. So if it's instead monthly, that would be much better on the old pocketbook.
I used to have Xbox and PlayStation come out on the same month.
Ooh, yeah.
And that was June.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, it's June. Nobody's going to. And I'm like, nope. When I turned 21, I'm like, yeah, I went to the bar. Nope, can't go to the bar.
Nope. Looks like
I
I'm
just
playing
made my Xbox and PlayStation payment.
Looks like I'm playing games instead of drinking.
So yeah, I think there's just a lot of gearing up for E3. A lot of people are kind of keeping things close to the chest right now. Which we will have in just a couple of upcoming episodes. We will have our E3 breakdown of what we think is going to go on. So watch for that. Do want to make an announcement, and more information will come, but we have started an Extra Life team. So anybody who knows what Extra Life is, Steve, you know what Extra Life is?
Why don't you tell me, Dan?
Extra Life is a wonderful program where we play games and you donate money for us playing games, and that money, none of it comes to us. It all goes to some children's hospital somewhere in the United States that we pick, which we will let you know what children's hospital that would be when it gets closer to our date. But there's an annual Extra Life day where people play for 24 hours, and that's going to be November 2nd, I believe. This year, so we will be planning on that event as the Save Point and Ouch That Hurts, and I would say there's another podcast that will probably be joining us, but I will let you know more information about that once we actually have confirmation of that. But look on our websites, look on our Discord. We will be promoting that, especially on OuchThatHurts.com. But more information will come with that. Our E3 stuff will come. Make sure you visit our sponsor, speaking of that, which is OuchThatHurts.com. That's HERTZ.com. And then also head over to the BS Podcast Network. That's BSPodcastNetwork.com. And have fun with that. But unless, Steve, you got anything else, I think that's going to do it for us tonight.
You know what? I do have something else. Just I know you. I know you're wrapping it up. You did such a smooth job of wrapping it up, but I thought of something. And
you guys realize you guys always do that to me. There's always one more thing.
One more thing, because we love to give. We want to give to our listeners. One last thing. It wasn't the cough. That's not the last thing I wanted to give you. I was thinking about games and why there's a lull right now, and I think part of it is that the pop culture in general is getting ready for other things. 1, final season of Game of Thrones. 2, Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
Those things are fast approaching, and I am beside myself with excitement for both of them. I already have my Endgame tickets. They are on the correct row in a spot that I enjoy, and I'm very excited about that fact. And then of course, Jon Snow. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm actually looking very much forward to Game of Thrones. As far as the Marvel, I have to catch up, but I'm hoping I will catch up on a couple of them.
What do you mean catch up? What are you talking about?
I have to catch up. I don't want to divulge what I haven't watched yet.
Oh no!
Because you're gonna
no,
punch
sir.
You're gonna punch me through the camera.
No. You know what? We're busy people. We've got full lives. We've got kids. I've a couple of these Marvel movies I've had to go by myself to watch because we couldn't find childcare or whatever. I get it. I understand. Now tell me, how have you failed? What haven't you watched?
I have not watched Black Panther.
Okay.
I have not watched Doctor Strange.
Oh wow. Okay.
I have not watched Infinity War.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I have to watch those before I
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to watch Infinity War before you watch Endgame. Yes.
Yeah. So,
wow.
I just finished up the Captain Americas. So those were pretty good. I watched all the Guardians of the Galaxy. I watched the Spider-Man. And Ant-Man and the Wasp. I have to watch too.
Nah, you don't. You can skip that one.
Okay.
No, I mean, watched it. It's fine. If people want to head over to sciencefactionpodcast.com, we've had a couple episodes where we complain heavily about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Just from a science point of view or science fiction point of view, it's got some poor internal logic. But besides that, Black Panther, an amazing film. Just straight up good movie. I rewatched it about a week ago. It's on Netflix, so it's easy to get to. Great film. Infinity War, also awesome. Doctor Strange was like okay, but you need to know the character to go into Infinity War and to understand what he's all about.
Got it.
And he popped up in Thor Ragnarok, so you watched him in a weird order. It's kind of
I kind of jumped around. Like I didn't. Okay, so I was kind of dumb. Like I was never. I don't want to say I wasn't huge into Marvel because I am huge into Marvel, but I was only huge into certain characters. Like no offense, like I could have given a shit about like Captain America.
Okay.
Like to me, Captain America was kind of like, okay. Didn't realize that like everything started connecting in so much.
Yeah.
Like I didn't pay that much attention to it.
How dare you?
Huh?
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. Like Black Panther has never like interested me as a character.
Oh no, not at all. I've never read yeah.
I have, and I still is going to be a battle to get through. I have no interest in Doctor Strange. I have no interest in that character. I just have had no interest in Doctor Strange.
Okay. So here's the thing with, and we're going to wrap up. You did an excellent job wrapping up. We'll get back to wrapping up in just a minute. We're going to do a little Marvel talk though. A little Marvel pep talk. Marvel was in a bad place and sold off all of their good characters to other studios. For years, right? Like Sony had Spider-Man, Fox had X-Men, like those are the heavy hitters. They started making movies, started making money. Marvel goes, oh, we've got something here. Who do we have left that we can make something out of? And they looked around and someone shrugged and went, Iron Man, I guess? Iron Man has never been a popular character. He's never been very good.
No, I agree.
I've never read an Iron Man comic book, ever. But the movie was amazing.
Yeah,
now,
I agree.
What Marvel has been able to do is take their B and C list characters and turn them into something amazing by not having to stick to their comic book origins or their comic book canon and just take the essence of the character and turn it into something that fits a movie screen, which is not always easy to do. A lot of movies that are comic book adaptations, the comic book is so popular or it's so specific in its tone that it does not translate to the screen very well. And therefore you don't get a very good adaptation. You don't get a very good movie. People don't go and see it. Because they have these characters that people don't really care about, like you just said, Doctor Strange, who cares? Black Panther, shrug. You know, what is that? I felt the same way about those characters until Marvel started saying, let's reinvent, let's reinvigorate, let's put something on the screen that it's new and fresh and makes sense for one, movies, and two, for a current audience. Because you're taking these characters that were created for a 1960s and 1970s audience, right? How long ago is that now? 50 years? Like, you've got to update it. And so that's what they did, and that's what they've started doing. And you know, some of the movies are formulaic. Some of them, if it's an origin story, it's pretty much every origin story is the same. When you watch Doctor Strange, just keep in mind that it is not a retelling of the original Iron Man. It's slightly different.
Okay, got it.
But like a lot of the story beats are exactly the same. But then there's a payoff. So here's the last thing that I'll say. Doctor Strange, I was not excited to go see. Doctor Strange is an okay movie. Doctor Strange character meeting Tony Stark in Infinity War was amazing because of how they set up the characters, because they are so similar, because they both have beards. No, because they both have this attitude of this holier than thou attitude, but one of them is technology and one of them is these mystic arts, right? And then you have these two absolute geniuses having to work together in Infinity War. That was amazing. And so you have to have Doctor Strange be like, isn't this just Iron Man again? But you have to have that for the payoff later. It all makes sense in the end. You have to trust in the process. When you get to Infinity War, it all pays off. And when you get to Endgame, which obviously no one's seen, but when you get to Endgame and all the spoilers that I've read online and all the things, and when we get to Endgame, there's going to be even more payoff for even more stuff. So,
okay.
I know this is a video game podcast, but if you're not caught up on the Marvel movies, you're dead to me until you are. So, Dan, please finish this podcast.
You're dead to me until you play Final Fantasy VII. So,
fair enough.
So, like I said, I think that's going to do it. Like I said, visit our sponsor, ouchthathertz.com, HERTZ.com. Visit the BS Podcast Network. That's where you'll find the science fiction podcast that Steve referenced. We'll have more extra stuff about Extra Life, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night.
Night.